this is Ryan from the Linkosaurus training team, and in this video I'm going to give a quick overview of the Reviews tab and all the different features that are within it. So from the dashboard, you're going to come over here to Reviews, and you're going to see Inbox. Inbox is going to give you the total number of reviews that you have received since you've been linked to Linkosaurus and since your accounts have received reviews. And so in this scenario, we have just over 11,500 and some odd reviews. Here we have an awaiting tab. The awaiting tab, when you click this, will show you one, you have 2 reviews that are awaiting. Awaiting means they have not been replied to. And when you come in here and you look, you have a couple different options. You have an opportunity to do a bulk reply, which means you can select this option and reply to both of these at the same time, even though they're at different locations. These happen to be Google My Business reviews. And if you click this, this will show you how to review. It's going to preload using this reviewer's name template. It's going to grab the reviewer's name, and then you can put your comment here. You can also select from a template that you already have loaded. You can also use your default, this is your default location signature for these individual locations. When you're applying to more than one review, these are not something that you want to edit as a best practice, because what you want is it to grab the specific location signature, because you might have a different team member at a different location that you want to come across as far as maybe their contact information or their name that's really specific to that location. That gives you the opportunity. Let's say you have 100 reviews, you can just click this, submit a reply, and then it's going to grab that location signature, kind of like an email signature for each of the different ones. If you uncheck this and just did one reply, then you can come in here and then you can customize your location signature by using either typing it in here, or you can, if you have additional ones down here, you can grab that. So this, just to save you time, you can preload those in advance. But for this scenario, we're just going to kind of do a quick walkthrough. So this would be how you reply. Again, to show you here, it's going to grab the user's name. You can, in this situation, you can change it. You can say, hi, Diana, and then put your message. You can grab a template from here. You can preload it. This template is going to grab the review template that is set up for 2-star reviews with comments. And we'll get into that here shortly, where those come from. Or you can make it anything you'd like. Then when you go to post it, you can save that as a new template. And so let's just say, instead of saying sorry to hear about your experience, you can say I'm terribly sorry about your experience. And then when you're finished, you could hit save and reply, which means you're going to click this and it's going to reply, but it's also going to save this as a template. So the next time you have a 2-star review, it will show up as an additional option here. Again, just to save you time in the future. Same thing here. You have the opportunity of doing a review and doing a custom reply signature, and you can come in here and change this, and then you can name it something different. So if we were going to name it Lauren, and we were going to say thanks, and we're going to put, instead of Kyle, we're going to put Lauren here. And then maybe we're going to say manager. And then maybe we're going to change the email address for this location. So let's say it's 5632. And you can do this, and then you would hit save signature. And then it's going to give you that little notation that says it's saved. And then when you go to send your next email or next reply, then you're going to have that option in there. You're going to have one for the previous Kyle. So let's go exit out of here. Come back. Now you have one for Lauren, and you can replace it quick like that. And then once you hit reply, then in this scenario, let's just do this. We hit send reply. And then it's going to disappear from the screen. And so now we're only down to 1 review awaiting. Next, we have this one. This just happens to be a 5-star. We can select this to reply. note over here to the right says awaiting response, which means it's still been in there and it hasn't been replied to. Come in here, select your template if you want. This is a 5-star. You could say best news all day. This is a different store, different contact information, different location signature. Now let's just say this review was not a 5-star and it had some not so nice words in here. Some words that were so not nice that you wanted to flag it for removal. So what you can do is click this button, flag for removal, and what it will do is it will take you to the actual Google review on Google, and at that point in time, directly from Google, you can actually flag this for removal, and Google will have a different options, asking you to provide your email address and some other information. And what will happen is this review will now stay here with flag for removal, and it will also be listed here, which I'll get to in a sec. And so in this situation, this is actually a 5-star, so no reason to worry about it. We're just going to give them a quick thanks and send that off. And so we would also, in this scenario, we can come back in here, and if we're unsure that that's the review we want, we can go back into inbox, come down here, delete reply or edit reply. And so if you've already sent a reply, what's going to happen is based on how Google works, the person that submitted the review is going to get an email notification that says the owner of the company has replied to your review, and they're going to get that. Anytime you edit a review, that Google reviewer that's giving you a review on Google is not going to get a notification. So once you submit your first reply, any edits to the review is only going to be made public on Google's platform. Now, if that person goes back and reads all the replies, they'll see that it's been updated, but they won't get a notification. And so you might want to come back in here and say, I want to edit this review. You can come in here, make your edits, and then send, and it will go out. You can also delete the reply completely, and it'll do the exact same thing, except when you click delete, it will do this. It's going to come back over here under awaiting. Now it's considered a new that's still waiting for response. So it's on Google, on Google's actual website where your review was hosted. It's not going to have anything there. And so in this scenario, we're going to come back in here. We're going to give them a reply, hit send, and it's going to disappear from here. All these stats on the awaiting inbox are very similar. So you're going to have the reviewer's name. If you click this link, it will actually take you to the Google My Business review site where you can then review all your reviews received from customers. You can see your star rating. You can see the date that you replied. You can see how long it took the reply to get replied to. If the review is edited, it would show here. So if we want to quickly look at this, it tells you that this is the person that went back and edited it. And if we want to sort it by, let's leave this. Let's sort it by change. And so in this situation, this person gave us a 1 star on 6/22, gave us a 5 star on 7/20. And so you can see there's been some changes that have been made, and that's kind of how the system works. So in this scenario, you can see here that this customer gave a 1 star on 1/19/2020, and then on 1/22, just a couple days later, they switched it to a 5 star. And you can come in here and you can click this if you want to look, and you can see that it was sent. And then at 5 p.m., hour and a half later, they received a reply, and then they went and updated it. And so it was very powerful because that person got an email notification saying, hey, whatever the message was about getting it fixed, and it allowed us to interact with the customer and get that fixed. And so that's what an edited review will look like. You also have the number of edit reviews. So if by chance somebody edits your review many, many times, you can see that's how many times it could be done. So here we have 6 times. So this person went back and updated the review 6 different times. The star rating didn't change. Normally when you see that, that's because the person is going back and they're refining their comments because they just want to get it just right. Here's an example where they've edited it 3 times and went from a 1 to a 5-star, and they've edited actually 3 different times. So that's what that means. And then this tells you how long the edit date and time was from when it was first submitted. So you can see that process here. And then you have replied here. And if you have, when it comes to edit reviews, you can come over here and go to edited reviews. And then you'll see this. So it will say new edited reviews. Well, if I go and I click to view it, you'll notice that this disappears. Opening this up triggers to let you know that this review, this edited review, has been viewed. That's really important, even though we'll get into setting up automation that will automatically update the review. So if somebody switches from let's just say 1-star to a 5-star, or from a 5-star to a 1-star, there's automation we'll get to here in a quick sec. But this, knowing that it's been viewed, is really important. Scrolling down to awaiting. So if you were in the awaiting tab, like I mentioned before, this is just where you have reviews waiting to be replied to. Approval is where, let's just say you have a manager in your organization that needs to have their Facebook post approved before they're released and published, or they have a Google review that needs to be reviewed. Basically like the gatekeeper. You have a situation where you respect and give these team members enough access to read the reviews or have some kind of engagement, and they can submit it to reply, but you still want to have sort of an approval process just for protecting your brand. And those would show up in here. So if you had one awaiting and one was basically waiting for approval, that just lets you know that the GM or whoever the position is that submitted this is needing to come in here and just kind of verify that information is correct. And then you would hit the action over here, which is not here right now, would say go ahead and release it, and you would approve it, and then it would go live. Replied shows all of your reviews, very similar to inbox. And if these numbers are 0, these numbers should match. And then the last tab here is reply templates. Reply templates, there's a lot of information here. This is basically where you set something up once and then you're kind of done. This is considered global settings. And so if you wanted to turn the automation off for all your reviews that have to do with automatically reply to all reviews without comments, this is where you would turn that on or off. And so if there was ever a situation where you just wanted to have sort of a master setting, depending on the size of your organization, and you just want to turn everything on or off, these are the features that will allow you to do that. If these are turned off, especially this one right here, if this is automatically replied to all edited reviews. And so if you can turn on a feature I'll share with you in just a sec, where if you have a 1-star and you replied and it said, I'm sorry, and then in the example I showed earlier, they changed it to a 5-star, you don't want to leave your quote unquote, I'm sorry reply there, because then when somebody goes to read it, that's not going to make any sense to them. And so you can have that automatically updated to one of your default 5-star settings. You could do that here. This button, what it will do is if by chance this feature is turned off for any period of time, and you want to turn it back on, let's say for a couple days, and in those couple days you have some edited reviews by customers, this button is sort of a sure-all. It goes back in time, looks at all the reviews that might have been edited, and will update them with the newest review that correlates with their star rating. Scrolling down here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-star categories. And these categories have subcategories. You have reviews without comments, and you have reviews with comments. Those are two very different types of reviews, because if it's a 1-star and they haven't left you a comment, it's without comments, then you're really replying back to them based on their star rating and not based on specifically why they gave you a 1-star. In this example, you can see that all of the replies are turned on. This is on or off for new reviews and on or off for edited reviews. And these are the reply templates. And your account is going to come preloaded just to kind of give you an idea of what you can do as far as these types of reviews. Basically, you're saying, I'm sorry in so many words, not getting too specific, and you probably have some sort of call to action about maybe contacting you based on your reply signature. And so that's what this information is here. You just want to make sure, based on which ones you like, which of these you want turned on or turned off, you can read them here. You can edit them by clicking this blue button. Then you can edit them here. You can delete them. A best practice is, unless you don't want this here at all, what most users will do instead of deleting it, because they might want to have it later, is they'll just come over here and turn the automation on or off. Whenever you're checking these automations, there is no save button. Just the process of turning it on or off will automatically update the system. And so remember, this is for new reviews. So if you have a new review that goes in here to awaiting, and this is turned on for a 1-star, this is basically saying when you get a 1-star review that does not have a comment, you want the system to automatically reply back to them with a reply review that is in this category. Same thing for 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, or 5 stars. That's what this category is for. You can always add a new template by clicking here, typing it all up, clicking save, and then it will be included in this. And the way the replies work when it's in automation mode is it will randomize all of the templates that are in here. So if you have 10 templates, it's going to, sort through the temp. So if you have 10 templates, it's going to randomize all 10. If you have 20, it's going to randomize all 20. The more you have, the better, so it looks less automated. And if people are scrolling through your review thread and looking at all your replies, it's going to be harder to see if the exact same reply is being used. Unless you get a whole bunch of, in this example, 1-star reviews without comments, it's going to be hard for anybody to determine if you have an automated system going on. And it really doesn't matter, because when they get that email notification, it's going to be contacting them directly, and they're hopefully going to contact you back so you can resolve their concern. Over here, this is where you would have 1-star, 2, 3, 4, 5, same thing on each page, with regards to reviews with comments. So sort of a best practice that we see is Linkosaurus users will have automation turn on for 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s for all reviews without comments. Because like I said before, you don't really know the reason why they gave you the review. You just know that you got a star rating. And so you're just acknowledging the star rating and then mentioning what the next course of action would be, or basically, what the next call to action is going to be. Most Linkosaurus users, when it comes to reviews with comments, will have 5s, 4s, and 3s all turned on for new reviews. Because 5s, you're definitely saying thanks. 4, you're saying thanks, but you're just wanting a little bit of information. 3s, we see this about 50-50 when it comes to users, where some folks like to not have this automated because there's a chance that they can be telling you the reason why they give you a 3-star. But here and then some people decide, no, I'm just going to have it set up to where it's going to be automated, but it's going to say, we want to earn your 5. Can you give us a little bit more information? And so it's almost like you're acknowledging the fact that they gave you some information. You're just looking for all the information and providing your content information in the reply. 2s and 1-stars, it is not recommended to turn on automation for these when it comes to new reviews, because they more likely have told you exactly what's wrong. And if you automate it, there's a good chance your reply is not going to correlate with exactly what they just told you. And so this is something you probably want to give sort of a personal reply to. When it comes to edited reviews over here on the right-hand side, this is something that it's recommended, and most Linkosaurus users have this set up to be automated. And they have this for all of them. And the reason they do that is because the user is not going to get an email notification. And so if somebody changes their review from a 4-star to a 1-star, well, you're still just updating to a 1-star, and you're just wanting to let people know when they go and they start reading reviews that you have replied to it. But there's no notification going to the user. Again, you can add templates here. These options here allow you to go in, and so if you have certain stars you do not want to have automation turned on, then you would come in here and manually turn these on or off. And you can do that for each different category. So you have a lot of options here. And then you would apply settings. And so here, unlike these checkboxes down here, anytime you're adjusting these up here, you want to hit apply global settings or apply settings here every time you're here. You always want to make sure you save that. And that's kind of a quick run through. If you want to get a little bit more detailed information on exactly how this process works with all these different tabs, there are tutorials at the bottom of this page. If you have any questions, you can always click your profile and reach out to customer support, and a customer support team member within the Linkosaurus team will be with you as soon as possible. And as always, link and soar with us.